Well, hello there. Hello there. How are ye? Is everybody doing good this morning? Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, all that good stuff. I got to get my head together. I got me a busy weekend, boy. Still not 100% awake. I'm usually not by the time I come on here, but I like getting this. I like doing this in the morning on the weekends. I just like it. I don't know why. I enjoy getting on here and blabbing for a little bit on Saturday and Sunday morning. But I don't know how long I'm going to be able to be on here because I got slammed with personal readings. Slammed. I didn't have any time to do anything yesterday. I got to get out like once yesterday and take a little break. And today I got more. I got 3 more here that are still left over from yesterday. And I'm pretty sure she has to go out and print me out like another 5. So I'm gonna be busy. Busy. Well, hello, there's a couple of people tuned in. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Anyway. And kind of similar to what I was saying the last time I was on here, I'm arising up out of crazy, insane dream world again. Oh, I did it again. I switched gummies. I was talking about the gummies last time. I switched back to the normal ones, and I'm still been having funky night sleeps. Well, we got a couple of people tuning in now. Hello. Leandro, Jackie, Lindsay. Adventures with Gypsy? Ruth, Claudia, what's up, y'all? Can't promise this is going to be a real big old long video. I don't even really have a whole lot to talk about, but I enjoy getting on and doing this as a little weekend tradition thing, you know? But yeah, I got readings I got to get to like immediately this morning. Such a strange job I have, isn't it? Such a strange job. Such a very, 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 very interesting job. What are y'all up to? Anything fun? Anything cool going on? Maybe. See, this is what I set out to do yesterday. Yesterday I set out, she printed me out this big old stack of readings, like 10 or 11 of them yesterday. And I said, all right, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna bust all these out. And I started to. And then every time I would like take a little break, go to the bathroom or something, she'd hand me more. Oh, here's some more. Here's some more. And I'm like, wow. You know? So hopefully when she gets up, I can be like, look, just print me out all my work. I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna bust it all out so that we can maybe do something. Go on a little family adventure or something today. Amy is having a sleepover at a friend's house. You know, my youngest, my little twin. Man, any of y'all got a little kid that's just like you? That is one of the biggest, like, learning experiences. One of the most massive learning experiences I've had. Having a little kid that looks just like me. And she does. Y'all seen when I posted that on Instagram, when we're side by side at age 2, identical. Can't tell us apart, you know? And still, I'll look at her sometimes and I'm like, God damn, I made a little female me, you know? And that's cool and all, but the crazy thing is that she pushes every fucking button that I have, dude. And she mainly does it, when she's acting like me. She mainly pushes those buttons when little me's coming out of her, you know? And that's the craziest part, you know? Not always. She has a couple of her own little, you know, quirks and whatnot that are button pushing. But most, about 75 to 80% of my buttons that she pushes is when she's being like me, you know? And I'm like, man, dude. Yeah, my mom, I know that. That's funny you said that. Patty Anderson, yeah, she does look like my mom. I always thought that too. There's this interesting trait that runs on my side of the family. It's the pale white skin and freckles. And that's one of those traits. It's like it jumps, it jumps. And I don't think I've ever seen any men in my family have it, but it jumps to some of the women. Like my aunt Rhonda had it. Her daughter April had it. My sister had it. And my youngest daughter Amy has it. The pale liquid paper white skin and freckles, But yeah, no, she does. She looks a lot like my mom. Well, I look a lot like my mom. That's the funny thing too. When I went and visited my mom, I hadn't seen her in so long. I knew this in my mind, but I just had forgotten how much me and my mom are alike. We're very much alike. And the funny thing is, she has a Virgo moon too. She's a Taurus with a Virgo moon. My mom is, and we're very, very, very fucking similar. Very similar, really kind of, and this is the thing too, that I think kind of confuses people about me in like real life off camera, is that I'm quiet. I'm real quiet and I'm real reserved, and that may make people think that I'm putting like a fake personality or something on the camera. No, it's not a fake personality. This is a real part of my personality. It's just I have to bring it up for the camera, because if you're going to watch a video, you have to capture the audience's attention, If you're scrolling through video, and this is one of the things that I had to learn in network marketing training. If you want to capture the audience's attention, there's certain things you have to do and certain ways you have to go about, whatever. But in real life, like off camera, I'm very quiet, very, very quiet, very reserved. I'm not a huge people person, And my mom's the same way, the exact same way. We'll do anything to try to avoid, like, oh, okay, there's that person that talks a lot. I'm gonna walk this way, I have a neighbor, dude. We have a neighbor, and he's a cool dude, man. Old people. See, our neighborhood is mostly old people. I don't think on this street here, it's mostly all old people. And we got this neighbor that he was just blah, 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 and you can't get away from him, Those types of people that, oh yeah, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing good. Okay, you have a good day. And then you try to hint with your body language that you're ready to walk this way. He'll follow you and just do, and oh, I hate that, dude. Oh, I hate that. I can't stand that. So here in my neighborhood, it's funny because we don't have mailboxes at each individual house. Every street has a thing of mailboxes at the end of the street that everybody walks up to, kind of weird. I've never seen that before, but anyway, we'll see the mail truck go up there and drop everybody's mail off, and I'll sit and wait. Me and Leo will be looking like, oh, they're all down there. They're all down there at the mailboxes, because of that one dude, man. He'll just start talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking, and he won't shut up, And I'd forgotten that my mom was a lot like that. But speaking of which, Amy, my youngest daughter, like I said, she's not like that. Oh no. That's one thing, like I said, me and her are like twins. We look alike, but there's some things that we're complete polar opposite. She will, everybody she meets is her best fucking friend. Everybody. She is the most outgoing, bubbly, want to talk to anything that'll make noise back at her. She's a little Gemini, Anyway, I don't think I was making a solid point, but yeah. She's a little Gemini, dude. Little Gemini. And this, I think I've told y'all this before. There's this thing, and she'll still ask me this sometimes. And this gave me, I had a huge Ace of Swords moment on the inside of the Gemini mind when she said this to me. She's asked me this a few times, 2 or 3 times. She'd be like, Dad, how do you know what to talk about? I'm like, what? How do you always know what you're supposed to be talking about? Like every time you and Leah start talking, you know what you're supposed to talk about. And I'm like, I think you're looking at it the wrong way. Talking is not a virtue, She thinks that The meaning of life is to make noise with her mouth. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's not the meaning of life. We don't live to make noise with our mouth. That's not our purpose here. You only talk if you actually have something that needs to be talked about. If not, shh, quiet. You know, I had to explain it to her like that. And I don't think it sunk in. I don't think that clicked. Because she asked me again about a week ago, Dad, I know I've asked you this, but how do you always know what you're supposed to be talking about? I'm like, oh man, that's how Geminis think, isn't it? Is that the way Geminis think? Is that what goes on in their mind? Is that why they're so two-faced, you know? Oh, I just have to talk. I just gotta talk. We just gotta exchange noise back and forth. Yeah, and I'm gonna make noise until you start smiling. And then I'm gonna keep making noise that'll keep making you smile. And then when I go talk to this person, I gotta figure out what noise makes them smile. You know? So don't pay attention to any fucking thing I just said to you. That's just a fart in a whirlwind right now. I'm talking to this person now, so I'm just making noise at them. Is that the way Geminis think? I'm not trying to offend any Geminis out there, but seriously, I'm wondering, is that the way they think? Is that the way the Gemini mind works? You know, because that's what my little daughter, man, my daughter Amy, she's asked me that like 3 times, and she will not shut up. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. I've yelled at her, you know. You ever get, and as adults, we feel kind of guilty for this sometimes, you know, and I feel bad for it sometimes too. But you ever get in those moods where you just don't want to hear any noise? You know, you don't want to hear any noise. And then there's little kids who are just making so much noise, you can't hear your own thoughts, you know, in the grocery store or when you're driving or something. And you're just like, shut up, give me some quiet, you know? And that concept doesn't exist in her mind, you know? Shut up, okay. For 5 seconds, and then, and she start talking again, and it's just like, oh my Christ. You know, this is a test of my character. But anyway, yeah, timeouts, yeah, I don't know. Social butterflies. You got a quiet Gemini? Oh, you lucky ass. See, my daughter's a double Gemini. She's sun and moon. Gemini, sun and moon. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not, but I don't know. I don't know. You a quiet one, Leandro? That's cool. Well, y'all need to hang out with my daughter. You need to teach her. You need to teach her, because she will not. And that's the thing, is that I don't know where she gets it from. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know where, because like I said, I know that when I'm on camera here, I'm pretty blabby. Off camera, in real life, and in general everyday life, I'm quiet. I watch and I observe and I study and I just observe things and I observe people, and I'm getting better at this. But like, you have 2 kinds of people, you know? Well, you know the people that try to start random conversation with you at like the gas stations or whatever, you know? They'll be like, hey, how you doing? And the other day I had this happen. I was on my way to the gym, and I could tell that this lady was like, because she was having a conversation with the dude in front of me, and I was thinking, oh, they must know each other or something. You know, and they're just talking, oh yeah, and I'm like, fucking hell, I'm holding this drink and my hand's freezing, hurry up, you know, I'm getting mad. So I get up there, and you could just tell she was that type, that she's just, everybody she meets is her friend. And she's trying to entice small talk out of me, and I'm not doing it. Oh man, you decided to get these, huh? I always wondered about these. I'm like, yep. That's it, that's all I'll say. Yep. I won't feed into it. I won't play that game, you know, because if you give in and you feed into that, you're gonna be standing there for like 10 minutes, like just talking about nothing. You don't know me. You don't care about what I have going on. You know what I mean? And it's just, I'm getting better at that though. I'm getting better at being friendly. I used to be like straight up rude back in the day. I used to be like rude to people because I hated talking to strangers so much. I used to be, and I'm talking like 5 years ago. So I've come a long way in the last 5 years. I'm not rude anymore, but I'm still not really all that social. Not really. Not really. Short one-word answers if I don't know who you are. Short one-word answers but I'm getting better. Like the people that work at the gas station by my house here, I'm getting better. I'll talk to them every now and then, and hey, how you doing? I got to practice. If you ever see me out and you see me doing that, I'm practicing. I'm trying to become more social, you know? Anyway. Anyway. No solid landing point with any of that, y'all. I just wanted to get on a blab for a little bit here this morning. Standoffish isn't rude. I know. That's what I tell Leah all the time. That's what I tell Leah. I'm like, because sometimes she'll be like, she's similar. Like, she'll have her days where she's like, I don't really feel like talking to that person. And I'm like, well, then don't. But I don't want to be rude. And I'm like, that's not rude. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody, like when they try to start that conversation, just give them short on and off answers. You know, don't be rude, smile, wave, but just don't feed into the conversation. She doesn't know how to do that, you know? And we had like a 15-minute conversation that went nowhere the other day when I was trying to explain that to her, because it was like the neighbor down here. She'll stand there and talk to him, you know? But it annoys her too, so she's not in a talkative mood. She'll be like, oh, I don't want to go around him. His name's Carl. I don't want to go around Carl, you know? And I'll be like, well, why don't you just like not say anything to him? Why don't you just say, yep, no, hello, and just keep it short and sweet. She goes, because I don't want to be rude. That's not rude. Being standoffish, like you just said, isn't rude. But I don't know. No, I did used to be rude. When I was like in my early 20s, which was probably closer to 10 years ago, I was probably much more like, because of course I was fucking high all the time back then too, you know what I'm saying? I did drugs and shit. I was always fucked up all the time, like 10 years ago. So I was probably much more likely to pop off with something smart ass and say something stupid, you know? I'm like, hey, how you doing? Do you really care how I'm doing? You really want to know? You really want to know? I'm doing fucking horrible. I'm thinking about killing myself here in a minute. You know, like I was much more out there when I was in my early 20s, you know? I was much more out there. But anyway. Business as usual, short and sweet. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Some of you all, how many of you follow me on Facebook and Instagram? So I got me a couple new bonsais, dude. I'm sitting right over there. I'll show you here in a minute, but got me a couple new bonsais. Man, the ones I've been growing, I think, well, first of all, I'm starting to learn that, and I kind of already knew this, but I always tend to end up doing this every time I get interested in something new. Don't go to fucking Facebook groups and ask anybody for advice on anything, you know? It's like Facebook groups were invented for one type of person. Well, a couple of different types of people. People who are looking for arguments, you know? They're just looking to start and create arguments. They are negative fucking pieces of shit that are just looking to start an argument, you know, with somebody. Or like people that don't know what the hell they're talking about, I guess. I don't know, but all the advice, all the bonsai advice I got a bunch of it from people in Facebook groups. I took it all and it killed all my fucking plants, you know? I was like, damn. So anyway, though, I went ahead and decided, I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go to a store where I can buy the damn things. And there's this little trading store in Chinatown in Vegas called Hoshin Trading. And they got some little badass bonsai trees that I don't know if people just buy the material at the nursery and then make them and then sell them to these people or what. I don't know where they come from, but I got a couple of them, you know? And a couple of Japanese dwarf garden junipers. And I got me a couple of them. And I was like, man, no, I'm gonna get to work on this shit. And I got to work on a couple of them yesterday. And they look pretty badass so far. Look, I'll show you. Hang on. Hang on. I'll flip. There we go. Here we go. Yeah. This one here, I can't wait to see how this one develops. I got this one here twisting up on this side and then cascading down on that side. And then in this one, this little dude right here. So this has been taking up a lot of my, well, I did this on break yesterday. Like, this was all, I don't know if y'all remember seeing it, but I had all this overgrowth. This thing was all bushy as hell. So I sat right over there in my spot doing my readings. And whenever it would get to the point to where I was spacing out, getting too drained, I would come over here and grab my little snips and start doing snipping. And I finally went out and got me some wired this bad boy up. And I'm like, because it was a double cascade down on one side and down on the other side. And I didn't like that. I thought it looked kind of stupid. I was like, man, I'm going to do something different with it. So I twisted this side up. And that'll stay wired up for... It's crazy because the camera doesn't even do it justice. It looks so much cooler in real life. But yeah, it's going to look so badass, man. Whenever I take the wire off in a few months, and then to see whatever... I don't know, man. It's going to be cool. Anyway. Anywho, that's definitely a new addiction. A new addiction. I've been doing all kinds of research, and there's this one dude has a YouTube channel called Eastern Leaf. He's a badass like bonsai artist. And so he's becoming like my new favorite YouTuber, Eastern Leaf. But anyway, that's what a lot of my attention's been going to here lately. Anyway, yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool. I don't know, man. I'm kind of having this funny feeling. I don't know who, what, when, where, why, how, but I have a feeling I'm going to be in the plant business in the next 10 years somehow, some way, I don't know. It's really iffy. Nobody really knows how long YouTube is going to be alive. For those of you in the know, you know what I mean? Nobody really knows. Is YouTube going to survive it through all this shit that we're going through? Is YouTube going to survive? And if not, what are people like me going to do? And I kind of feel like I don't know if YouTube's going to crash or whatever happens, at some point in time in the future, I feel like I'm going to be in the plant business. Somehow, some way, I don't know. I'm just being drawn towards it. And that's another thing, very much like my mom. My mom is a plant freak too. And I didn't know that. I didn't even know that. So, you hope it survives? Yeah. I've heard a couple of rumors that it might not, Nobody really knows exactly. We know that we're headed to a better place right now. Right now, we're just watching the silly shit play out, to wake people up. Essentially is what we're watching happen right now. And it makes sense. I understand it now. I understand now why they're doing it the way they're doing it. It frustrated me at first. It's like, why the fuck? Come on, let's just get on with this. And now it makes sense now. It makes perfect sense to me. Because it's awakened a lot of things in me. You know what I mean? It's awakened a lot of things in me. It's awakening things in all of us that we didn't even know existed. Oh yeah, the good guys know what they're doing, dude. Trust me. They know exactly what they're doing. Anyway, though, without getting too flirtatious with that path, I have heard rumors that it may not survive, but I don't think anybody really knows. We know that we're going to a better place. But the thing about it is, without talking too much, it's that people like me who make our whole living on YouTube, like YouTubers, like everything that our entire livelihood, YouTube pays for it. You know what I mean? Those people. Not just the people who maybe collect a little check here and there if they get enough views. I'm talking about those of us who, our house, our food, our bills, our cars, everything is paid for by YouTube. You know what I mean? What are we gonna do? That's what I'm saying. What are we gonna do? But at that point, by the time it comes down to that, money is gonna be so... What's the word I should use? You're not going to need to worry about money. Let's just put it that way. Nobody is, I don't know, though. It's going to be interesting to watch. It's going to be interesting to see. Going to be interesting to watch and see. I'm thinking about, Well, and I might do it today if I have the time, but I'm gonna start a video series on an alternative platform too. Those of you who've been wondering, like how far down those pathways I can go, I've been thinking about, seriously thinking about opening up a new video series on an alternative platform where that's all we talk about. You know, that's all we talk about is the truth. And where I learned the truth, you know, which is not I'm not one of those people who just gets all their information or got all their information from listening to people who do research, you know, listening to some random conspiracy theorist on the internet that does their research, you know, which, by the way, those people are right. You know that, right? But that's not where my information comes from. My information, most of it, a huge portion of my information came from a very high source, a very high place. Yup. Yep. That's all I'm gonna say on that. That's all I'm gonna say on that. But we'll be able to talk more about that on an alternative platform for now, you know. So I'll let y'all know. I'll let everybody know if and when I decide to do that. You know, I just really got to figure out what exactly it is I'm going to say and how I'm going to word it. You know, because I've been standing so far away from that so that I can fly under the radar and teach consciousness under the radar. You know, and I got to figure out how I would word it. Got to figure out how. I don't know. I got to figure it out. But I'll let everybody know. I'll let y'all know. Yeah, I won't be flirting on a different platform. I won't be on a different platform. I mean, essentially, I don't think. Let me just say this though. I don't really think that I have a whole lot to say that you all don't already know. Just from the testing that I've done and seeing some of the things that you all have said, you all already know. You all already know. It's just that I can confirm from pretty much firsthand sources that the people that you hear, you know, the other people, they're right. They're right. They're not lying. They're not fucking theories. I promise you that, you know. So I may not really have a whole lot of new things to tell you that you don't already know, but mainly how you've been programmed and manipulated to use your own energy against yourself. That's where I come in. That's my job, is to undo that. Because you have. And it's not a fucking theory. They do it on purpose. They program you to use your own powers against yourself. Yep. Oh yeah. So that's mainly where I come in. That's where I fit into this whole, the scheme of the Great Awakening, you know? And it works. It works. Like I said, I've had the testimonials all day, you know? So yeah. Anyway, I'll let you know if and when I decide to do that. Know what I mean? Know what I mean, Vern? Anywho, away from that, what's everybody got going on today? Let me see. Okay, hang on. 10:31 and 1:30. All right. So as soon as I get off of here, I gotta get straight to work. Straight to work. And I want to be able to I could have swore that yesterday she said, I still have a few more to print off for you. You know, I want to be able to knock them all out because I want to be able to get as much content on my main channel as possible. You know, I want to be able to get as much as possible. So what, by the way, I've been wondering what's going on. She said, you're on fire. I was like, what do you mean? She says, everybody's wanting readings right now, you know? Is it the celestial events in the sky screwing up people's relationships or something? What's going on? What's going on, y'all? You know what I mean? Mercury retrograde screwing with everybody. Europe's still a mess. Yeah, some of the European countries are gonna be the last to... It's not that... I can't say a whole lot. It's all good though. That's all I'm saying. As far as the future, it's all good. You know, it's all good. Murky Metro. There you go. There you go. It's all good. We just got a bullshit journey on the way. I've been hearing that, and this is kind of just hearsay, that the good guys are thinking that it's probably going to take about 3 or 4 years to really fully wake up the UK, you know, because they're that programmed and indoctrinated and brainwashed, you know. For me, man, this dates back to before anything related to a conspiracy. I never even heard of any of that. This dates back years ago, when I've just always been so rebellious and so, like, I don't just believe anything you tell me. You know what I mean? I've just, looking back, I was never able to be brainwashed. And you know how much trouble that got me in? I was never able to get programmed by the school system. They was never able to program me. I would fight, man. By the time I was in high school, I didn't go to high school. Y'all know that, right? Oh, they kicked my ass out. They weren't having me, because I wasn't, like, I've just had this bullshit detector, you know? And I was always rebelling against the school systems. You could never program me and tell me that I have to do anything. And it never made any sense until now. Now it makes sense. It's like, oh, okay, that's the reason why I was never able to be programmed, and I was always in trouble and ostracized and made fun of, because, again, before any of this stuff was even a thought in your mind, I've had this detector in me that would just go off. Bullshit detected. Bullshit detected. Don't listen to that. Don't believe that. Bullshit detected. And I couldn't explain it. I couldn't explain to you in words that, you know, oh, you're not going to brainwash me. It wasn't even like that. I've always been that way since I was a little kid, you know? And it never made sense. It never really fully made sense until now. Until now. Now it makes sense. Oh, okay. I see what I'm doing here now, you know? Yeah, bullshit detector. Mine was loud, dude. Mm-hmm. Yep. I can remember being in my early to mid 20s, knowing absolutely nothing about politics, you know, having no opinion because I don't know anything about it. And being able to sit there like in a room where the news is on and be like, that is such bullshit, dude, you know, like at the time where the idea of awakening wasn't even, I didn't even know anything. You know, I don't know how to explain it, yo. It's like I came into this life unable to be grabbed up by that and programmed, you know, unable to be, you know. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that I've never, what's the word? Because we've all been programmed. Every last one of us, we've all had certain programmings and this and that by society and whatever. But as far as being able to take me and cookie cut me and mold me and stuff me in this box and turn me into basically a rat that turns a wheel in the machine like everybody else out there, it was never able to be done to me. And it even grew to a point to where I started becoming very self-conscious. Very self-conscious. Why don't I fit into society? And I would try. And the harder I would try, the more, like, the stupider I would look, you know? And it was just never meant to work out for me. And it never made any fucking sense, man. I always wondered what the hell is wrong with me. Until now. Now it makes sense, you know? I wish I had a better way of explaining that. I'm still half asleep. Let me drink some coffee. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Never bought into it. Yeah, exactly, Claudia. Yep. Never bought into it. And again, it was even back before it was a thing. You know, now it's a thing. For the past 5-6 years or so, now it's a thing. But before it was ever even a thing, I never bought into it. I was never told, because I was raised in a household that tried to pound that shit into my head, you know? It was another reason why I was in trouble all the time as a kid. My grandparents, real old school Christians, churchgoers who are real into politics and this and that. And they tried to drill that shit in my head and they couldn't. They couldn't. Like, you know what I mean? You could not force me to believe anything that you tell me, you know? Like, I've just always been that way. Before it was a thing, before it was cool. It wasn't cool back then, you know what I mean? It wasn't cool to be like that. And yeah, I don't know. Anyway, every portion of the zodiac. What, you got every sign in your chart? That'd be cool. Not me. I'm like, let's see, I'm mostly, I don't know, I'm kind of like the planet. I'm air and earth on the surface, and then I got fire underneath all of it. I got like 3 or 4 planets in Sagittarius and 1 in Aries. No, it's 3 in Sagittarius and 1 in Aries. So on the surface, I'm airy and earthy. Earthy and airy. I got all that Virgo and Aquarius, you know. But underneath the surface, it's fire. You know what I mean? And Venus and Pisces. That's probably why I'm such a sappy ass. Venus and Pisces. It's kind of frustrating to me because I have moon and rising in Virgo, you know? So where I kind of wish I had my rising in a different sign so I could be able to like study myself a little bit more and be able to tell which one's my moon and which one's my rising. It's really hard, you know? Venus and Pisces is very common, isn't it? I think it's very common. I don't know. I've met a lot of Pisces Venus people. It seems like Venus and Pisces and Aquarius are the 2 most common ones I've seen in people. You know? Leah has it in Aquarius. The last, like, 5 people I've met that I look at their charts, it's either in Pisces or Aquarius. I don't know. Rising in Virgo. Moon in Pisces. That'd be interesting. But like Leah, for example, she has a Virgo moon, but she has a Leo rising. Her rising is in Leo. And I'll tease her about it sometimes, you know? Because you can see when that Leo, fiery Leo energy starts coming out in her. You know, because she'll be like, yeah, me, yeah, oh, yeah, me. You know, and I'm like, yeah, Leo rising, me, yeah, me, look at me, everybody, me, Leo, yeah, me, you know? And I'll tease her from time to time. But I can see it come out in her. But that gets me to thinking like, damn, man, my rising is Virgo, but so is my moon. So if I definitely feel the Virgo energy in me all the time. I can tell when I got a bunch of Virgo driving me and Aquarius takes a break. I can feel that. But it's like, when is it my moon and when's it my rising? I don't know, you know? I don't know. But anywho, I definitely like having the Virgo influence. I will use that when it comes to my work ethic, like my working out at the gym, you know. I'll harness all that earthy energy. Get it done, you know, no matter what. So, love for art comes from your Libra, right? Oh, Libra rising. You got a lot of air, don't you, Leandro? Did you say you're a double Gemini with a Libra rising? Man, that's a lot of That's a lot of I'm kind of glad that I have a balance between air and earth, you know? Very, very logical and critical, you know? And then that damn Pisces Venus is frustrating sometimes because, like, I've told Leah, I was like, because she has Venus in Aquarius and I got it in Pisces. She's like, what's it like? Because her dad, she's a daddy's girl, and he's a Pisces, and he's a frustrating motherfucker, you know? He's really, really frustrating, and he's just, you know? She's like, what does it feel like? What does it feel? What does that Pisces energy feel like? And I'm like, well, it feels like really, 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 really irrational emotions that make no sense. That's what it feels like, you know? Irrational emotions that make no sense and feel like they shouldn't be there, you know? But you put that in underneath the surface of Aquarius and Virgo and yeah, cover it up and be quiet, you know? Virgo's gonna be quiet and clean, yeah. Boy, I'm not really, that's the thing about me though. Like, look at my workstation, let me show you. Look, the whole cleanliness thing, Look how cluttered I am. See, I'm not really a clean freak. Not really. I'm not really a clean freak. Now, Leah is. We were talking about this in our last chat, that how she experiences Virgo energy and how I experience it, you know? She's the clean freak. Oh my God, there's too much clutter. This thing's out of place. Oh my God, do you really want that thing to be, you know, like sometimes she'll be like, oh, your couch covers here are wrinkly and blah, 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 blah. Oh, that rug is turned to the side and that picture's a little bit crooked and oh, that thing is out of place. You know, that she's very about that, and I'm not. I'm that type to where it's like I can deal with clutter until it crosses a line. You know, I can deal with a little bit of clutter, you know, until it crosses a certain line. Then once it crosses the line, I'm like, oh, okay, this is over the line. Bam, and I'll clean it up and make it real neat and nice, you know? But me, and we already talked about this, time. You know, that's my thing. It's being on time. And I was re-listening to one of these videos the other day when I was talking about it, and I wish I would have said this, so I'm gonna say it now. To me, it has to do with your character. You know, because especially when you get into this spiritual community, well, time is just a construct. It's just an illusion. You know, and I know that. That's not even what it's about. It's about character and trustworthiness. You know? Okay, let's take time out of it. Let's just say, you say, hey, meet me by the tree that has a rock next to it. Meet me there. And I don't. I meet you down here by the tree that has a log next to it. See what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Like if you're saying meet me at 2:30 and I don't, I'm not very trustworthy, am I? You can't really trust me. I don't really have very good character. If you say meet me there at 2:30 and I meet you there at 2:45, you know, and I'm kind of looking at you like, oh, okay, well, what else can I probably not really trust you with? You know? Me, if I say I'm gonna be there at 2:30 and I'm not, man, I'm like, fuck, I feel so horrible about myself. I beat myself up like, you fucking idiot. You know, like that's my Virgo nature, you know? I gotta be on time, you know? And my thing too, if you say, Rich, meet me here at 4:30, I have no problem being there at 4. And I'll just sit there and play on my phone and find something to do. I'm here. And people will say, why do you want to be there so early? What's the difference between being at the destination point and waiting and being at your house and waiting? What's the difference? You're going to be sitting somewhere waiting on that time to pass. You know what I mean? Like, I have one or two choices. I could be sitting right here and waiting, or I could get my ass over there and be there and waiting. What's the difference? What's the difference? I think it's better character for me to be there and waiting so that I'm doing what I told you I was going to do, which was meet you there at 4:30. That's about my character. You know, if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. I'm not a half-ass decision maker. You know, like if I make a decision and I say this is what I'm doing, then I'm real big on that. If I say if I'm thinking about doing this, just throw it up in the air and don't put too much energy into it. But if I say, yo, this is what I'm doing, if I say this is what I'm doing, I do it, you know? Watch me. That makes sense? Does that explain it a little bit better? It has to do with character. It has to do with character. Like I said, take time out of it. Okay, fine. Let's just say time doesn't exist, which it really doesn't anyway. That's not even the point. It's the principle of the matter. It's the principle of the matter. If you say, Rich, meet me in Chicago, and I go to Atlanta, it's the same concept. That's bad character. Can't trust me. I'm not trustworthy. Can't depend on me. I'm not dependable. You know what I mean? Makes sense where I'm coming from. So that's why I keep constantly staring over here at these readings that I got. I got the first one I got to do right here is due at 10:30 a.m. So I'm thinking I'm thinking like, oh yeah, I keep glancing over at it like, yep, as soon as I get off of here, I gotta get on that. Gotta get on it. And it's like, that's another one that's real big. With my personal readings, the way it works is you receive your reading within 24 hours of the time the payment hits my account. As long as you have all the information, you know, that's assuming that the payment comes through with all the description of your situation and all your questions. And once all that hits, 24 hours. 24 hours. Not a minute later, 24 hours. Like, very rarely. I'm not saying it's never happened. People have gotten their readings late before, especially if it like gets lost in the shuffle somehow. That hasn't happened in months, you know. And I will, if you're late, I will pay you for it. I'll refund you some of your money, you know. But yeah, 24 hours. And this one here is getting pushed out to like the last 2 hours. And I don't like that. I can't stand that. That happened to a few of them yesterday. I had to tell them, thank you for your patience. I did get hit with a big wave of readings. I know you're reading at the last hour of the 24 hours, you know. But have a good day, Claudia. But yeah, it's just time. I'm just like that with everything, you know. I'm like that with everything. My personal reading business wasn't always that smooth before Leah came along. Well, not before she came along, boy. Man, it was so hard. I remember when I very first started personal readings. Oh, it was so hard. I'm so unorganized and scatterbrained and this and that, you know. But anyway, better do it now that I'm awake. Yeah, as soon as I get off here, I'll probably be on here maybe another 10 minutes or so. As soon as I click off of this, first thing I'm doing. That'd be nice if I could just do these 3 and then it'd be done. That'd be nice. But anywho. Anywho-y dooey shooey looey. I want to be able to get as much content out of my main channel as possible. Boom, boom, boom. Y'all have a great day. Have fun. Have fun, y'all. Thank you all for tuning in, you know. This, you all think, like I hear people all the time, oh, you don't know how much you've helped me and this and that. Y'all help me, man. You know how much, you know how sane this keeps me? Keeps me very sane. People don't really understand how crazy you can go. You know, it's every time somebody finds out what I do for a living, like they're like, whoa, that's so cool. You're a YouTuber? You get paid for it? And especially when they find out how much I do make, man, that would be so fucking awesome. And I'm like, yeah, but you can go fucking crazy. You can go nuts, man. It can drive you nuts sometimes when you're self-employed and you sit at home all day in the house. You know, that's the reason. Another reason why I like going to the gym, because I still kind of have that dynamic of I have to wake up and I have to go do something that sucks in the morning. So I still have that, you know, kind of like working a day job when I would have to wake up to an alarm clock and have to go do this job I didn't want to do. You know, a lot of the times I don't want to go to the gym, you know, sometimes but for the most part, it hurts. It hurts. It's painful. It sucks, you know, and I have to have that to kind of keep myself sane. You know, when you work a day job, you're not at home all day every day. You know, and when you're home all day every day, the walls, it gets smaller and everything kind of starts to close in, you know. So you like this better than my main channel? I know. I had a lot of people say that. I had, back in the day, I used to have probably 5 of my favorite YouTubers that would have a secondary channel where they would do this, you know. And I got the same way. Like, man, I kind of like just your little side channel better than your main one, you know? I feel you on that. I feel you on that. I was the same way. And then I created this channel because I used to do my like live mini readings on Facebook, and then they flagged me. Fucking bastards. There's some pieces of shit, man. They flagged me. They said I can't put my PayPal, like, because I would go live with my PayPal in the title of the video, and Facebook flagged me. So I made this channel so that I could do my readings on this channel, because I didn't want to get it all mixed up and confused with my main stuff, And then people's like, man, you should chat. You should chat like this person and like that person. And I'm like, man, I don't want to just do everything that everybody else is doing, And then I figured one day I was real bored. So I got on and just kind of started talking, and it started flowing. And then I started noticing, man, this kind of peps me up in the morning when I do this, So I enjoy doing this. I enjoys it. Turned off by Facebook. Yeah, I feel you on that. I look at, for me, I'm one of those types of people on Facebook. I got like 20,000 followers on my page, and I always try to make it a really strong point to, if I'm gonna put content on social media, it's gonna be like uplifting, not negative. And everybody always, and in the comment sections of my stuff, you always find that person that's trying to start an argument or whatever the case may be, But for the most part, I always want to put content out there that's uplifting, not negative, not doom and gloom or none of that bullshit, Bring Leah on. I'll tell her, man, we can never get on the same page at the same time, We can never get on the same page at the same time. I tell her, man, everybody wants to see you. Everybody wants to see you, The videos where she comes on get more views, They get more views, more people tune in and watch live, That's not really what it's about. I don't really give a shit how many views these videos get. I don't get paid for them. I don't get paid for this channel. Y'all know that, right? This is all just free, no advertisements, no nothing. I don't get paid for anything on this channel. But if you look at the numbers, the videos with her in it always get more videos. More views. And then the number of people, like right now there's 50. Yeah, there's 50. And whenever she comes on and chats, it'll be more like 100 people tune in, So I'm like, everybody wants to see you, but she doesn't really care to be in the spotlight. She doesn't really like it all the time. So she's got to be in a special mood. And it's usually after she's had a couple of glasses of wine, and she's all bubbly and goofy, and she's not, in her, because off camera, she's very put together and very serious a lot of times, and very get down to business and everything's serious. And so whenever she gets a couple glasses of wine and she gets all goofy and bubbly and whatnot, she'll be like, let's chat, So anyway, yeah, I'll see if she wants to this evening. I'll see if she wants to. Just depends. Like I said, I got work to do, work to do. And she has something, shit, what are we doing today? I know that Amy is at a sleepover with her friend, and they're going swimming today. So I think she'll be gone probably most of the day today too. And it seems like Leah has something going on today. I don't even know. I don't know. But I got readings to do. One, do at 10:30, a 1 p.m. and a 1:30. And these were all paid for yesterday, so knock these out real quick, and then we'll see. Miss y'all, but watch after. Yeah, she's cool, man. Yep, she's cool as hell. She's definitely the rock that keeps this whole foundation solid. I was telling my mom, actually, I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am today without her, period. I wouldn't be, without her, I would probably be able to be living in a motel making $100,000 a year. And that's it. That's all I'd have, $100,000 a year in a motel room, and that's probably all I'd be able to do, So yeah, it's having it, like, I wouldn't be able to be anywhere. I wouldn't be able to be rebuilding my credit and and you know what I mean, taking care of, cleaning up all my messes from the past and all this stuff. She's so organized, and she's helped me get my life together in a way that I never even imagined possible, you know, bringing out the best in me. She brings out the best in me, you know, absolutely. You know, because everybody always says behind every great man, there's a woman. Oh, you damn Skippy. You damn Skippy. Absolutely. And that's, looking back, that's just amazing. Ever since I stepped off onto my path, the universe always brings me everybody I need in order to get to the next level, you know? Every time. Because my path has been like a slow, gradual uphill path ever since I don't like resorting to these kind of phrases, but my dark night of the soul. Mine was 2015. 2015 was my dark night of the soul. It actually kind of began in 2014. There was 2 suicide attempts. The week of Thanksgiving 2014, I hung myself with a belt and died, and was revived from death. And then a few months later, I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna get this shit down. And I didn't. I attempted it again and got caught and got stuck in a mental hospital for a month. And then got out of the mental hospital. And I just kept spiraling downhill, and then ended up losing everything, lost my job, lost it all, and lived on the streets for the rest of that year, 2015. The last half of that year, I lived on the streets, under bridges, in the woods, in a tent, eating out of garbage cans, going to free homeless feedings where they give out free clothes and food and stuff like that, you know. And ever since that year, well, I spent the rest of 2015 living like that. And then in in December, is when I took my very first steps off onto my path. Turned myself into a homeless shelter. Not too long after that, a couple months after that, is when I first discovered law of attraction, living in a homeless shelter, you know. And ever since then, it's been a slow, gradual uphill climb. And ever since I threw my hands in the air and just basically said, okay, all right, universe, you're gonna take me wherever you want me to go. I'm always handed everything I need, you know? So definitely by the time it was time for me to really level up to this point, there came Leah. Boom. There came Leah, you know? So anyway, Anywho, about time for me to hop on out of here, y'all. About time for me to hop on out. Love my story. Yeah, it's interesting to look back on. I wouldn't want to relive it. I'll tell you that much. I wouldn't want to go back and do it again. It is cool to look back on, though. Super cool to look back on, but some of the things that I went through on my story, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. You know, like being homeless in the wintertime. That's, when I look back on my whole story, the most horrific little chapter was that chapter where I was on the streets in the wintertime. That was horrifying. And I was working a job too. And I would sleep out back in my work trucks, not knowing. Sometimes I'd lay down and be like, man, this may be my last day. I might freeze to death tonight, you know? Dip down 10 degrees, and all I got is a blanket. I got to curl up under this blanket, curl up in a ball, and my breath under this blanket is the only thing keeping me warm. I don't even know if I'm going to survive throughout the night, you know? That was horrifying. That was horrible. That's the worst. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, you know what I mean? But it is an interesting story to look back on, you know? Very, very interesting. But it is time for me to get on out of here, y'all. Time for me to get out of here and knock out these personal readings. If you are one of the people who ordered a reading and it's due today, I'm on it as soon as I get off here. So anyway, I'll see y'all hopefully on my main channel today. If not, definitely on here chatting in the morning. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day.